Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday. I almost said Tuesday. I don't want to go backwards in the week. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for the weekend and relaxing and all of that, although I will be working all weekend too. So I am just sharing this to my personal page and we are good to go. All right. Hey, this is Steph Palermo. I am just Steph. I am an empathic messenger. I'm an empath. I'm a coach, international speaker, talk show host, author. I got a lot of things. I'm stirring a lot of pots on the stove. But what is an empath? I'm highly sensitive, intuitive, who understands people's struggles. I tap into my gifts, my empathic gifts, and my other gifts, as well as living a lifetime with a rare disorder, which is Poland syndrome, to help my audiences, either through my words that are written or spoken, to feel groovy for as much of their waking time as possible. This is about feeling great and loving life every single day. So today it's Thursday, so it's the Just Steph rules of dating. So this is dating advice for second lifers, and this is the Steph rules of dating. Okay, so here we go. I want to talk to you about red flags. I asked somebody, what would you like to hear Just Steph talk about in terms of dating? And they said, let's talk about red flags. So I want to talk to you a little bit about red flags. I am in the dating world. And you might think, okay, Steph, what makes you such an expert on dating? And I can tell you this, I'm going to be honest. I didn't meet before I got married. I was 19 years old when I met my first and only husband, and who is now my ex-husband. And I never dated. I never really dated. I didn't go out. I dated him and then got married. So what would I know about dating? And after my divorce, I found myself in the dating world. But what I do know the most about is how people should be treated and how we should be treating one another. And that, that goes for dating as well. So, and I have been in the dating world for almost 5 years. And as a second lifer myself, I have seen a lot of things. I've seen and heard and talked to people about a lot of situations and experiences, and talked to people about where their hearts are. And so I put that with living with a rare disorder and having to date with a rare disorder and meet new people, all that. I understand what people are going through, and I understand how people should be treated. I know how people should be treated. So here we go. We're going to talk about red flags. The first thing I'm going to say about red flags, and this might sound like a cop-out on my part, but the truth is you have to determine what is a red flag for you. Nobody can determine that. But I'm going to go over some guidelines so that you can maybe understand what your red flags are. Because sometimes we go into, especially if we're newly divorced or we're newly out of a relationship, we don't even know what those red flags are for us. We just know something didn't feel right in the past, or there were things that felt really good. And how do we find that in another person? So, and I know I've had that with my last long-term relationship. There were a couple of things that were very meaningful for me, that are very important for me to have in my life going forward. But there were things that were missing that I now know I cannot live without. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, I have 4 criteria for who deserves to sit at my table, and that's because I know what I bring to the table. So the first rule is you've got to know what you bring to the table. You've got to know the kind of person you are. You've got to know what your passions are and who you are and what you love and what is important to you. Who are you? What do you bring to the table? What, what's your job like? What do you do for work? What, kind of a mom are you, or a dad, or what kind of a friend are you? Know who you are, because when you come to the table, you put your cards on the table, you're totally confident because this is who you are. Know who you are, know your gifts, know your amazingness, know your talents, and that's what you bring to the table. I'm going to tell you what, leave that luggage behind. Don't bring that shit to the table. Don't bring it. Don't bring your garbage, your preconceived notions. Don't bring your pain. Don't bring, leave it. Do not bring it to the table. Because if you bring that to the table, that's who's going to come to your table. That's who you're going to attract to your table. If you bring the pain and you're low vibe and you're not feeling good about who you are, you bring that to the table, that's who's going to be sitting across from you looking at you pretty soon. That's what you're going to attract. So bring your amazingness, and you know what that is. If you don't, call me, message me, get a session with me, and we're going to find your amazingness, because I know it's there. Okay, so know your worth, know what to bring to the table. So now the first rule of what the first criteria for the person that sits at your table is, do they deserve to sit at your table? So what does that mean? Do they have the qualities that you're looking for in a partner? Maybe it's important for you to have somebody who has older children. And, sometimes when you're 50 years old, if somebody's got a 5-year-old, that might not work. It wouldn't work for me, I'll tell you right now, because the next 5-year-old I'm chasing is going to be a grandbaby. That's my situation. Maybe you're a baby lover. Maybe and a lot of us are facing men that have grandbabies. How do you feel about that? Does your partner or the potential partner, do they have a job? Are they sort of, you'll be surprised how many guys I've met or I know my friends have met, that are miserable in their jobs, just miserable. You should be sliding into home at 50. You got like 15, 20 years max. You're sliding into home. You've been working for 30 years. If you're not happy now, they're never going to be happy. Are they secure in their jobs? Are they secure financially? Now, I'm not talking about a sugar daddy or a sugar mama. I'm talking about somebody who can hold their own. Somebody that you're not paying for their ass all the time because they're looking for somebody to pick up the tab, and that's all you are to them. Can they hold their own financially? Maybe that's not important to you. Maybe you have enough money that you want somebody to be dependent on you like that. That's great. But know this. Do they have a really good sense of humor? What kind of a sense of humor is it? Is it dark? Is it sick? Is it a Boston sense of humor? That's the kind of humor I'm looking for. Somebody who has, how about somebody who's ethnic or not ethnic, or somebody who, what about somebody who plays golf every damn day of the week? Is that going to work for you? How about somebody that's tied up all the time? Where's their time? What are they doing spending their time? I talked to a guy who has a boat. Now, that might seem like, oh my gosh, that's awesome, right? They have a boat on the ocean in Boston. I can tell you right now, I'm not spending every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday on a boat. It's just not happening. It's awesome. We know they have money, right? They can maintain a boat that's in the ocean. That's a lot of money. It costs a lot of money. So obviously they have money. I don't care. I'm not spending every weekend on Cape Cod. It's just not happening. I'm not going to go out with you. That's a red flag for me. Somebody who's, tied up emotionally and cannot be present for you emotionally. That's who deserves you. So you have to look at who deserves to sit at your table. What are their qualities? What Are they fun? Do they have energy? There are a lot of guys out there, they have no energy. They're boring. A lot of women too. Boring. I need somebody that can bar hop or go from a restaurant to go live music, bar hop, and then Kowloon late night. That's what I'm looking for. I need somebody who has that kind of energy. Because I want to have fun. I want to enjoy my life. That's me. But there are some people that just want to be at home. They want to be always at home. I like to be home once in a while, cooking dinner. I love that, but I don't always be home. Okay? So, what is their religious, values, their spiritual values? How about, if you're, political, it might be really important to you that somebody is on your side of the fence, politically or with religion, whatever that is. That's how you determine who can sit at your table. That's criteria number one. Do they deserve to sit at your table, right? So you have to look at those for red flags. And don't waste your time. Don't compromise. Okay, number two. Do they understand your value? Do they see your value? Do they know your amazingness? Can they see what you bring to the table? Can they recognize the gifts in you? That's important. They've got to be able to see something special in you that's different from everybody else. Okay, so that's important, because if they can't see that, then you're not their girl, you're not their guy. That's not going to be long-term, which goes to, what are your intentions? Being clear. Like, do you just want to have a million different dates, or are you looking for a life partner? Do you want to be married someday? Not that you bring that to the table day one, but being, when you're having conversations, you can hear that this person is not interested in having a life partner, or that's what they want. They're never getting married. Listen to their words. If you want to be married someday, you have to listen to somebody's words. When they say they never want to be married, believe them. If they say they never want to settle down with one person, believe them. And if they behave that way as well too, they're running around crazy. Number three, do they want to be at your table? Do they want to be there? Are they dating a million people? Do they never want to settle down? If they see the amazingness in you, if you're their girl, if you're their guy, I don't know, but you don't want to. Why would you be interested in anybody else? Why not focus for a little while to see if this person is the right person for you? It's your choice. You can go out with a million different people, but quite frankly, I don't want a guy that's going out with a million people. Because once you like me, if you like me, you like me. And let's figure it out. That doesn't have to happen in dates 1 or 2 or even 3. But pretty quickly at 50 years old, you should know if there's a compatibility there. And if you don't, if you're that messed up, you need to get help. Call me. I'll help you. We'll figure it out. And number 4, are they free to be at your table, legally and emotionally? This is big, because I'm going to tell you right now, I have never met crazier people in my life until now. Men with crazy ex-wives, screaming, calling, screaming, demanding, and even if they're the ones that wanted the divorce, they're still mad. They're still mad at stuff. And then what they're doing is they're renting space in your partner's head. And if somebody else is in your partner's head, you're not. That's a huge red flag. And it doesn't have to be an ex. It could be the kids. It could be their financial situation. It could be their job. If you have to look and see. And some of this is a little cloudy, because you might see that, yes, they have this going on. And I've been in this situation. And I'm going, can they handle this? Can they still give me the time? Can they still work it out? Do they want to work it out? Do they want to be there with you, right? So if they want to be with you, and they're working hard to be with you, that's a different story. But when somebody else is renting space in your partner's head or the person that you want to date, you need to be very careful. And I'm going to be very clear on this. Most men that are not divorced yet, once they get divorced, they're more screwed up than they were beforehand. I don't care what anyone says. They're nuts. They need the time. I would be very, very careful about aligning yourself with somebody who is not divorced legally and hasn't had space from that divorce or even a breakup. Be careful about that. Have they worked through it? Do they know what the issues were and that they're moving on and they're changing and growing? Be very careful. Legally and emotionally free. Emotionally is even more important than legally. Sometimes those divorces, they last a long time because of money. But then, even then, I think they're still tied up emotionally because you can work anything out. Money's not worth your happiness. None of it. So that's what I see the red flags are. I mean, there's a lot of things in there. You have to decide what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And just know who you are, know your intentions, and be clear. Be able to have tough conversations. I can tell you, I'm in a new relationship right now, and I have had, it's only been a couple months, and I have had some really tough conversations. You know why? Because I don't want to be 6 months down the road and everybody's in love, and then all of a sudden you don't like something, right? And then you're screwed, okay? And then you're like, how do I untangle from this? And then you're tied up in a web where you like all in with the family and the friends and all of that. No. Have those conversations early. And if you need help with that, reach out to me. Call me. I'll help you. But don't wait. Don't wait. Don't be in pretend world. I know, like, have some fun. Have your fun. Don't get me wrong. Have fun. Enjoy. But know where you stand. Have those conversations. Be clear with your intentions, who you are, what you bring to the table, and find out what they bring to the table very early. Don't waste time. You're too old. You don't want to wake up at 60 years old and be like, or 70 years old and be like, oh my God, I just wasted the last 20 years of my life on nobodies. And now I want a partner. Well, they're all dead. So, or dying. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. I know it was a little bit long-winded on the red flags, but I wanted to make sure I covered all this stuff for you. I'm hosting a workshop on March 16th, just north of Boston in North Reading. I'm thrilled to be back in Boston. I love it. I love speaking in Boston. It's going to be a great day. I've priced it so reasonably at only $75. There's going to be lunch, wine and cheese, lots of good talks, and this is going to be your threshold to feeling groovy every day. I also have my one-on-one sessions, my coaching package. All of this is in the description of this video. I'm hosting a Feel Groovy retreat in Sicily for 5 women. Make your application today. Join me in Sicily. Take on the ways of the ancients and learn how to feel groovy in simplicity. So that's all I have for you today. If you need any help, please reach out to me. Subscribe to my newsletter if you want more information. And I'm here for you always because I love you all so much. I really do. So that's it, guys. Listen, take a risk, be vulnerable, share your heart, and love always. Wishing you love, balance, and peace. Ciao, ciao, baby. I love you.